Hi, everybody. I am Lynn Lambrecht. I am the founder of The Living Planner, and I am so glad to be here and sharing. Janet Hoseline, thank you for joining. This is my first HAPS broadcast, and my kinds of stuff, and it looks like my screen is trying to do its own thing here, but I'm really tickled that you're here. Thank you. Today, it looks like we are going to have a little heat wave in Southern California and throughout the Southwest. And it's a perfect day for me to talk about grab and go because we don't often get a lot of notice when things are coming to us in life. And disaster planning is something that I love. And the whole grab and go piece is something that is very important to me. And so I just want to make sure that you guys have an idea of what's going on because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I want to see if this stuff is going to take over. I had this set up in a previous studio and now here we are. And so let's see how this works. But this is the Benjamin Franklin quote that I love. And it is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when natural disasters happen, whether it's a hurricane or tornado or flooding or earthquakes, it's funny. I've lived all over the place around the globe. And I grew up learning about tornadoes. I went to college, learned about hurricanes, moved west and learned about earthquakes and fires, moved to Asia and learned all about, monsoons. So, you know what? We have some predictive tools that can help us, but I'll tell you, having some things planned in advance is really, really important. So I want you to know that I've created an evacuation checklist for you. And with that, I want you to be able to take a peek and see how you can prepare for yourselves in advance to have kind of your grab and go kit and make sure that you know that wallets and keys and glasses. Think of life this way. If we don't have a moment, if we really don't have any notice, what is it that you use all day, every day to keep your life running smoothly? And it has to do with a lot of your personal stuff that you wear every day. You have your glasses, you have your keys, you have a bag, but it goes deeper because we've got to make sure that we have credit cards and cash and our personal IDs, and we've got smartphones and chargers and laptops and power sources and the tablets, and make sure if all power is out. Out here, I have to make sure that I turn off the gas and we have these certain little keys that we get to turn off gas in our residences. But you know what? Bring a flashlight, have some batteries, make sure that you've got some solar power and some way to charge things. But you want to also keep on you and make sure that you've got access to your insurance policies and ID and those IDs. Have some first aid kit, stuff available for you, and some medical supplies, some of your personal hygiene items. And, then we get into the documents of life. Because if you can grab your computer, if you're near it and you've got access to your info, that's great. But if not, where is that information that can help you get started again from anywhere? And that's going to take, all kinds of consideration when it comes to any of your personal policies. And yes, Janet, you can download the checklist. And I've got another one because I want to make sure that we have things for the pets. And it's pretty darn funny because when I was doing things in advance, I had all of this. Now it looks like I did the live thing a little crazy. This is my learning curve. So all of my preset posts are no longer here. So one moment, please. I'll put a link in the chat for you so that you can download the evacuation checklist. But I do want you to remember your pets too, because we think of people and pets, but the other side, I really want you to think about your businesses. So when it comes down to important documents, okay, this is where the cloud can be a real benefit for you. It's also something where you may, have somebody else that has access to your information, and that's going to be really important for you in time. So just know that I'm going to pop in these little lists in a PDF form when I kind of finish going over them, because insurance companies, if we're not able to go home, insurance companies are going to be like honest for, do we have an inventory of our items and how can they replace from a financial perspective and from a building up perspective. So, again, you want to think about the people you contact. Do you have access to them? Do you know the work contracts and work contacts? Does anyone else? What about all your online accounts? If you don't have your passwords in your brain, then how are you going to access things from a different place? And remember to always grab all your personal things that are very, very meaningful. Photos can't or not easily replaced. They're easier now because they're digital, but if you have a bunch of the old original pictures from when you were little, that might be something in actual picture form that you want to grab with you. Keep like some of your marriage and military paperwork and different valuables and your different things for you to be able to wear. I was laughing the other day when we were talking about this stuff because I am kind of the doomsayer, if you will. And I was kind of teasing about, okay, if I'm in a shelter and it's really cold, I want to make sure I have something warm. So yes, I have my lantern, and yes, I have my power source, and yes, I have my backpack packed, by my front door. But I also have, like a whole suitcase packed in the car with even some food items and things like that. And when you're thinking too about your furry friends, remember that they sometimes have identification, and you might need to keep that with you. And if they're microchipped and DNA type of information and their vaccinations, and the same with us, our doctor's offices have a lot of information for us and about us. But when you think of your pets, does your vet, how do you know? Do you have access to the records from them? With us and our pets, think about allergies and prescriptions and things that you typically take every day. How would you gain access to that if your roads are closed or you were devastated by fire? You might have some very serious, even dietary restrictions, and so might your pets. And it's important for you to make sure that you have a couple little things. I keep some access to food, and I have I would recommend 3 gallons of water minimum per person, because you always kind of want to be in prep for being away for 48 hours minimum. So you want to make sure that you've got tons of water with you and things too. So all I can tell you is the beauty of life is actually living it. And you don't have to live in the worry. Not at all. Not at all. But I want you to also live with a little bit of fun and have some ability to pick up and go wherever you are, and know that you've got information ready for you and able for you to carry on and start over if you need to. So the grab and go side is just giving you an awareness. It's summer. We have a lot of different things going on because hurricane season is getting ready to start too. It's already June, so it has started. And we're living amidst different issues going on with climate change. So let's have some fun. Make sure that you know what you need, where you can assemble it, kind of your staging area, and plan for all of the things that you use daily, but also that information that really ties back and identifies back to you. My work at the Living Planner focuses on all this crazy stuff, and I really like to look at life of how can we live it fully and enjoy the moments, but also be prepared for whatever. So I thank you so much, Janet and Joseline, for your comments and for the love of sharing the High Five Award and the Super Heart Award. And for broadcast number 1, off we go. So I will put the PDF links back in the chat. If there's anything else that you can think of, comment away if you catch the replay. I thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Okay. Fuck. So why? This is pissing me off. Bye-bye.